The Galactic Council sat in a great silver hall floating above a bright blue star. The room was full of strange creatures, some with wings, some with metal skin, some with eyes that glowed like fire. They had gathered to vote on Earth's request, to join the Council. A small screen in the center showed a human diplomat, standing proud but polite, speaking in calm words. He asked for peace. He asked for unity. He asked for a seat at the table. The room went silent for a moment. Then came the laughter. It started with an old fat creature from the Vorgan Empire whose belly shook like jelly. Then others joined in. A six-legged commander from the Zeltar pounded the floor with his claws. A glowing cloud being spun in circles, laughing in its own strange way. The leader of the council, a tall, sharp-faced creature named Orvex, smiled, coldly. "Humans," Orvex said, standing. His voice echoed. "You want us to allow them among us? Creatures who only just learned to fly past their moon? Creatures who still fight each other over dirt?" More laughter. It filled the hall. Like thunder, even the AI drones seemed to hum in amusement. One alien said loudly, "Let the monkeys play with rocks!" The whole room shook with joy, but far away, back on Earth, someone else was watching. He sat alone in a dark room, under a mountain, deep in an old bunker that didn't exist on any map. Screens surrounded him, showing the council, showing their laughter, their faces, their weakness. His face showed no anger, only calm. He pressed a small red button. Far beneath the Earth's oceans, machines woke up. They had not moved in 50 years. Some were the size of cities. Their lights blinked once, then again. Silent orders moved through deep fiber lines. Old satellites turned, codes activated. Programs that had been waiting, hiding, breathing in. Silence finally spoke. In the cold darkness of space, the council ships kept watch. They were proud, full of alien tech, and guarded hundreds of worlds. They thought Earth had nothing but old rockets and noisy ships. They thought humans were just smart animals. They were wrong. One council scout ship, far from the main group, floated near Saturn. It picked up a strange signal. Something was moving, but there was no heat, no sound, no light. Before the crew could react, the ship shook. Then it broke apart without warning. No blast, no noise, just silence. And nothing was left. The council never even noticed. Back in the Silver Hall, the vote had begun. Only 2 races voted yes to Earth's request. The rest said no with smiles. Some even waved goodbye to the human on the screen. The human diplomat simply nodded. His voice was flat as he said, "Understood. Message received." Then, he cut the signal. Orvex turned to the others. "Well," he said, "that was entertaining." He raised a hand. "Now, on to serious matters. Let us talk about the new mining rights near the Garnak star." But he never finished his sentence, because, just then, a small device in the corner of the hall blinked. It was a low-level alert, minor, not important, but the screen it lit up showed something strange. A symbol, 3 lines crossed by 1 slash, and underneath, words in English. "You laughed. Now you learn." Orvex froze. "What is that?" he asked. No one answered. The symbol vanished. The device melted, and the council stared in silence. They didn't know it yet, but Earth had already moved. In secret places, far from alien eyes, humans had prepared. Not just weapons, ideas, tricks, codes. They had never trusted the council. While the aliens laughed, Earth listened. While they mocked, Earth planned. And now, the planning was done. Humanity had been rejected, but they would not be ignored. This was not the end of Earth's request. It was the beginning of their answer. Space is quiet, cold, empty. Ships float like bones of old creatures, silent in the dark. Near the edge of council space, a massive alien battleship called Vraxian moved slowly past the rings of a dead planet. Its shields were strong. Its weapons were ready. Inside, The crew was relaxed. No danger had been reported in this sector for years. Then, without warning, everything changed. One moment the Vraxian was there, the next, it was gone. No explosion, no signal, no cry for help. One moment of silence, then only dust and twisted metal. A council patrol ship found the wreckage 2 hours later. Nothing was left but scraps and floating pieces. No bodies, no black box, no clues, only one thing. Was strange. Burned into the side of a broken panel were words, not in any alien language, but in simple English. You laughed. Now you learn. Back in the heart of the council, panic began to stir. A meeting was called. Fast, loud, angry. Orvex slammed his hand on the table. Who did this? Pirates? Rebels? Machines, he shouted. No one answered. Some blamed the Drakari, old enemies from the Outer Rim. Others thought it was a weapon test gone wrong. But one nervous diplomat stood and said quietly, "What if it was the humans?" The room went quiet. Orvex laughed once, short and bitter. The humans? Please. They barely understand space. Their ships are weak. Their minds are slow. But not everyone looks so sure anymore. 3 days later, another ship vanished. This one near a major space gate. Same thing, no sign of battle. No survivors. And again, the same words appeared on a screen before it went dark. You laughed. Now you learn. Now fear began to grow. Council members started locking down trade routes. Civilian ships were ordered to stay near protected systems. Military forces doubled. Still, they found nothing. No ships, no signals, just quiet. And that message, over and over again, some began to whisper about Earth, not the Earth they saw on screens, but the Earth that hid its true face. Back on the Council's intelligence base, a spy named Tolan worked in the shadows. He had studied Earth for years. He knew their history, wars, tricks, sudden jumps in science. He tried to warn the Council once. They laughed at him too. Now he stared at the reports, eyes wide. Patterns formed, satellite paths, data leaks, ghost signals from hidden probes. All pointed to something deep and dangerous. Earth hadn't been sleeping. It had been hunting. Tolan tried to send a warning. But before the message reached the Council, his station went dark. Not destroyed, just shut off. Like someone had flipped a switch. Gone. Meanwhile, far from all eyes, human ships moved like shadows. Their shapes were strange. No one had seen these before. They left no trail. They didn't show on sensors. Some looked like meteors. Others looked like parts of space. But when they came close, things disappeared. These weren't normal warships. These were tools of fear, and they were only beginning. A small alien colony on a moon called Tyrak 3 went offline. 1 second, they were sending mining data. The next, nothing. When a rescue team landed, they found everything in place. Tools, food, ships, but not a single living thing. Just one message carved into the ground. You laughed. Now you learn. By now, the Council could not ignore it. Even Orvex looked pale. Fine, he said. Let's talk to Earth. Let's ask them what this is. A message was sent. Polite, careful. The Council asked if Earth knew anything about these attacks. Hours passed. Then a reply came. Not video, just text. We warned you. You laughed. This is your lesson. That's when the fear turned to terror, because the Council now understood the truth. Earth was not asking for power. Earth was teaching a lesson, and the galaxy was just starting to learn how cold humans could be. On the far side of Earth's moon, something moved. It didn't shine. It didn't speak. It had no name, no signal, just a shape. A long, sharp ship, blacker than space itself, hidden in shadows for decades. Waiting. Then it woke up, all across. Earth silent systems came online. In deep oceans, old machines rumbled. In frozen ice fields, metal doors opened. Ships rose from secret hangars, ships never seen before by alien eyes. They had no bright colors, no flags, just quiet, perfect design. Clean, sharp, deadly. They were Earth's ghost fleet, not a myth, not a story. Real, and they were moving. In council space, fear spread like fire. 5 ships had vanished now, no enemy seen, no weapons used, just gone. And always the same message left behind. You laughed, now you learn. The council held an emergency meeting. It was quiet. No one laughed this time. Orvex looked tired. Whoever this is, they are inside our systems, he said. They know our paths, our defenses, our weak points. A small alien named Jerk spoke up. We must consider the humans. Another voice snapped back. They don't have the power. But someone else whispered. What if they do? They argued for hours. Some wanted to send a peace team to Earth. Others demanded a full invasion. But Earth was too quiet, too still. They couldn't find any real targets. Every satellite showed the same thing. Normal cities, normal people, normal life. It was a lie. Earth had been building under the surface, under the oceans, behind fake clouds. They hid their true strength in places no one looked. They didn't race in open space like other species. They moved in silence, in layers, behind code and tricks. And now, they were ready. Deep in a council base, a spy named Velen watched a secret video. It showed a human ship moving behind one of the moons near, Vega 9. It had no heat, no engine trails, nothing, just a shape, and then darkness. The next day, a supply ship from that system vanished, gone without sound. Velen tried to track the ship. She traced signals through back doors, through hidden frequencies. She found something. A ping, a human ping. Then her screen went black. She was never seen again. In space, the Ghost Fleet began to move toward outer colonies. Not the big planets, but the small ones, the weak ones, the ones with sensors but no armies. One by one, they went silent. The council grew desperate. They sent scout ships. Most vanished. One returned, damaged. The crew was shaking. One of them spoke softly, eyes wide. We saw something, big, black. It didn't fire, it just stared at us. Like we were ants. Orvex looked at the report. What was it? The soldier whispered. It was human. I know it was. Still, some council members refused to believe. Humans don't have cloaks like this. They don't have silent weapons. It's impossible. But they were wrong. Earth had taken its time. While the galaxy fought wars, Earth studied. While others showed their tech proudly, Earth hid theirs. Every weakness the council had, they knew. Every hole in the system, they watched. Every secret passcode, they copied. And they had been watching for a long, long time. The humans called it Project. Echo and the Ghost Fleet was just the first part. One alien general tried to strike back. He sent 10 warships to a zone near Pluto where strange signals were found. The ships reached orbit. Then, all at once, their systems shut down. Lights out, engines off, dead in space. A message appeared on every screen. You're not ready. Stand down! The ships drifted for hours. Then, something moved among them. One by one, the ships were pulled away. No weapons, no fight, just gone, like they never existed. The general returned alone. He never spoke again. In the council chamber, fear turned to silence. No one spoke against Earth now. They had mocked the humans. They had called them weak. But the truth was now clear. Earth wasn't behind. Earth had simply hidden. And now, the Ghost Fleet was here to collect the galaxy's debt. The council chamber was not the same anymore. The light was dimmer. The guards were doubled. No one laughed. No one smiled. Fear sat in every seat like a silent ghost. They had lost 10 ships, 3 colonies, and 2 listening stations. No battle, no warning, only silence, and that same message left behind. You laughed, now you learn. Orvex stood at the center table. His voice, once proud and sharp, now shook slightly. "We must find a way to stop this," he said. "This human threat." A thin creature with silver skin named Koth shook his head. "We don't even know where they are. Their ships don't show on scanners. Their signals are masked. They're ghosts." A scream echoed in the room. All heads turned. A council tech officer had collapsed on the floor, his screen still glowing beside him. Orvex rushed over and looked at the display. It showed a live feed from a council military base, one of their oldest and most secure. The video was shaking. Explosions in the background. Shadows moved fast across the screen. Gunfire. Shouts. Then silence. The screen went dark. Then came the words again. "You laughed. Now you learn." Koth stepped back. "That was on the far edge of our systems. How did they get there?" No one answered. Someone suggested sending a peace message to Earth again. Orvex nodded slowly. "Very well," he said. "But this time, we kneel." The message was sent in full honesty. No tricks. Just one line, sent directly to Earth. "We were wrong. Please, let us talk." No reply came for a day. Then Earth answered, not with words, with a feed. The council watched as a screen came alive. A quiet room. A single man sat there. A human. Dressed in plain clothes. His face calm, his eyes sharp. He didn't speak for a long moment. Then finally he said, "You laughed. You mocked. You called us animals." He leaned forward. "We asked for peace. You gave us shame." His voice was cold now. "You wanted to feel superior. Now you feel afraid. That is your lesson." Orvex tried to speak, but the feed shut off. The room stayed quiet for a long time. Across council space, chaos spread. Trade routes were closed. Minor species begged for protection. Some planets shut down their ports. Others tried to leave the council entirely. They had lost faith in the council, in the system, in the safety they once trusted. Earth had not attacked their cities. Earth had attacked their pride. And it was working. A secret report leaked. It said Earth's ghost fleet had reached over 40 systems. Some believed they had already mapped the whole galaxy, that every planet was under watch, that Earth could strike anywhere, anytime. The council broke. Apart that day, half of the members left the chamber. Some fled to their homeworlds. Others sent messages to Earth privately, begging for mercy, offering help, offering secrets. Koth stood in the chamber doorway before he left and looked back at Orvex. "You didn't just insult the humans," he said. "You woke something older than pride. You woke their patience, and now it's gone." Orvex said nothing. He just stared at the empty chairs. That night, in secret, Orvex sent his own message to Earth. It was simple. "I understand now. I am ready to listen." But there was no reply, because Earth had already moved to the next phase. The lesson was not over yet, not until the galaxy understood what it truly meant to make humans angry. In a quiet corner of the galaxy, the skies turned red. Not because of war, but because the stars themselves seemed to dim. On the mining world of Relos 5, workers looked up and saw black shapes moving above the clouds. Too large, too slow, too silent. They weren't council ships. They weren't known at all. Then, everything shut down. Lights, power, tools, ships, gone. One of the workers managed to send out a distress call before the signal was cut. The message reached the council's emergency center. Orvex read the report in silence. He didn't shout. He didn't call for war. He just sat down, tired, and whispered to himself, "Another one." Across council space, pride was dying, one planet at a time. The council had once ruled the stars with strong words and louder weapons. They believed they were the smartest, the fastest, the strongest. Now their strength meant nothing. Their weapons didn't fire. Their scanners didn't scan. Their fleets couldn't see the enemy until it was too late. Earth didn't fight like others. Earth didn't need to. They used silence, precision, fear. One council captain named Zarin tried to resist. He had been in the military for 30 years. He believed in order, in honor. When he heard Earth was moving near his sector, he gathered 6 ships and prepared for battle. He never saw them coming. His ships disappeared from radar one by one. No shots, no alerts, just vanished. His command ship went dark next. The last thing he saw on his main screen was a single line of text. Your pride was your shield. Now it breaks. The next morning, his ship was found floating near a council beacon. The crew was unharmed. The weapons were untouched. But the ship's core memory was wiped clean. All logs gone, like it had never existed. That was Earth's message. They could erase you without killing you. The council leaders now met in secret bunkers. They no longer used open channels. They spoke in whispers. Some even feared that Earth was listening to every word. They were right. Back on Earth, in a deep control room under the Atlantic Ocean, Commander Hale stood in front of a glowing table. Around him were silent officers, eyes watching blinking lights. One officer spoke softly. Target colony Raylo 7 peaceful. Should we move in? Hale nodded slowly. Yes, no damage. Just make them understand. The officer pressed a button. Far away on Raylo 7, every screen turned on. Every speaker came to life. Every citizen stopped in shock. A single message played. We were quiet. You mocked us. We watched. You laughed. You called us weak. Now you learn. Then everything turned. Off again, no attack. No destruction, just a message. And it was more powerful than any weapon. Some colonies surrendered without a fight. They opened their gates to Earth's ships. They sent messages. We were never your enemy. Please don't erase us. Earth accepted. Quietly. No banners, no speeches, just peace. But not the peace the Council had once known. This was a new kind of peace, a peace built on fear, a peace held by silence. Inside the Council, Orvex sat alone. The chamber was nearly empty now. Most of the leaders had left or gone into hiding. He watched the stars on a screen above him. Why didn't we see it? He whispered. No one answered. He thought about the first time Earth sent diplomats. How they were laughed at, ignored, sent away like children. He remembered the Council's jokes, their proud words. Now all those proud voices were gone. Only Earth spoke now, and it didn't speak loudly, because it didn't need to. The galaxy had begun to understand. Earth was not weak. It was not slow. It was not primitive. It was patient. It was watching. And worst of all, it was done waiting. Deep in Council territory, the last trusted safe zone was Nova Point, a city built on a space station above a gas. Giant. It was proud, clean, and full of power. Politicians, scientists, military leaders, they had all gathered there, believing it was beyond Earth's reach. They were wrong. It started with a sound, not loud, just a hum, soft, steady, cold. Then the lights flickered, doors stopped working, screens glitched, and finally, every window showed the same thing. A single human ship. No weapons were visible, no markings, just a quiet black triangle floating, outside the station like a shadow. No one could trace it, no one could move. Then a voice came. It was not angry. It was not loud, it was calm. And that made it worse. This is not conquest, this is clarity. The voice echoed across every hallway, every chamber. We asked for peace. You answered with shame. We asked for respect. You answered with laughter. Now, we ask for nothing. Panic broke out on the station. Soldiers pointed weapons at empty doors. Leaders ran to their escape pods, but none worked. The ship outside did nothing. It just floated. Watching. Then the voice returned. We could erase this place. We won't. Not today. This is your warning. And just like that, the lights returned. Screens blinked back to life. Pods reactivated. The ship disappeared. Nova Point lived, but the message was clear. No one was untouchable. That same day, the Council received Earth's first real message. A direct communication sent to every known government, text only, no face, no sound. It read, "We will not rule you, we will not destroy you, but you will never forget us again." Some leaders wanted to fight back. Still, they had no plan. No map. No targets. Earth's power had no shape, no borders. It was like a shadow over the stars. One young alien leader, barely into his first term, asked an elder, "What do we do now?" The elder only whispered, "You stay quiet, and you never laugh at them again." Across the galaxy, colonies changed. Planets that once ignored humans now built monuments to peace. Statues of diplomats. Schools began teaching human history, not out of love, but fear. And Earth watched, from their silent bases, from hidden fleets, from the darkness behind moons and stars. They didn't ask for gold. They didn't ask for planets. They only wanted one thing: respect, but not the kind that is given freely, the kind that is earned through silence, patience, and power. In one council lab, scientists reviewed old data. They found something strange. Years ago, Earth had sent a peaceful signal to every known species. It included music, art, language, and hope. Almost every council member had ignored it. One had even deleted the file, calling it a joke from the monkeys. Now that file was studied day and night because in that simple human music, there was code. In that art, hidden star maps. In that message, warnings no one understood until it was too late. Back on Earth, Commander Hale stood alone on a balcony overlooking the Atlantic Command Center. Ships came and went in silence. He watched the stars with calm eyes. One officer stepped beside him. "Sir," the officer said, "the Council sent another message. They say they want peace. This time they beg." Hale nodded. "Then we'll give it to them," he said softly. "But not for free." He walked back inside. The glass doors closed behind him with a quiet hiss. Peace was coming, but it would come on humanity's terms, and the galaxy would never forget the day the silent fleet arrived. The Council finally broke. The last meeting was quiet. No shouting, no long speeches, just tired faces and shaking hands. The Grand Chamber, once filled with pride and laughter, now felt cold, empty, smaller. Only 13 members remained. They looked at the message in front of them, a final offer from Earth. No war, no revenge, no rule, only respect. You will never mock us again, and you will remember what happens to those who do. There were no demands for planets, no call for power, just silence and a promise. The Council signed it, every one of them, because they had no other choice. The message was sent back to Earth. For the first time in history, Earth didn't answer with a fleet, or a threat, or a warning. They replied with one word: accepted. And the stars felt different that day. Across the galaxy, flags changed. Not to Earth's flag, but to new ones. Flags of peace, of shared power, of quiet fear. The galaxy was still free. But now, freedom came with a lesson. No species laughed at humans again. No ambassador rolled their eyes when a human spoke. No leader dared call Earth primitive. Because everyone remembered the Ghost Fleet and how it never fired a shot. It simply erased pride. 1 year later, a ceremony was held on neutral ground, a floating city between stars. The new Galactic Pact was signed, an agreement of peace, respect, and equality between all species. At the center of the stage stood a human. He said only one thing: "We do not forget. We do not forgive easily. But we believe in second chances. Don't waste it." The crowd clapped, but no one cheered, because deep down they knew this peace was not born from hope, it was born from fear, a fear of what humans could do, if pushed again. Far from the ceremony, in the black of deep space, Earth's fleet still moved in silence. Ships with no name, no light, no trail. Watching, waiting, just in case. Back on Earth, the world had changed too. Humans walked with quiet, pride. They had no empire, no throne in the stars, but they had something more powerful, a reputation. Children on alien worlds were told bedtime stories of Earth, the sleeping planet, the one the galaxy mocked, and the one that rose in silence, the one that didn't shout. It simply ended the laughter. The Black Triangle ships became legend. Some said they were machines with no crew, others believed they were alive. But no one wanted to find out. And deep in a hidden vault under Earth's surface, Commander Hale stood in front of a locked screen. The file name read, Final Protocol, if they forget again. He stared at it for a long time, then walked away. Because for now, the galaxy remembered, and that was enough. But if they ever forgot, Earth would remind them again.